Hello, my name is Zaf. About 20 minutes ago, I just finished doing the day one and the speed trophy in Blueprints. This game has pretty much consumed my life for the last month or so, and I've spent, I don't know, around 10 to 15 hours in total chasing this specific trophy after I finished pretty much everything I could do with the story in the main game. So I just kind of thought I would do a little live reaction to my own video and kind of give some commentary, just in case anybody else would find it useful, but also because I've been doing so many of these attempts that they're all a blur in my head now, and honestly, I want to watch it back because I don't even remember what happened. So I've never really made a video like this before. You'll probably see the rest of my channel is just World of Warcraft videos. So I don't know if anybody will even watch this, but here we go. Just gonna kind of hit play and say whatever comes into my head. So I didn't look too much up in terms of tips for doing this. I just kind of gathered my own knowledge from playing the game for as much as I did. For the most part, I did look up just like a couple other videos of people doing it to get some inspiration. So if I think of something that I didn't come up with on my own that I kind of found to be a useful tip from somebody else, then I'll mention that as it becomes relevant in the video. So, I mean, I guess the first thing is like I was very uh unsure about like what the best first draft was. For a long time I was drafting the bedroom to the east because I learned from another YouTube video that apparently for whatever reason, if you do the bedroom there, it will always have a locked trunk in it, which could be useful, could not, depending on if you find a sledgehammer early or if it's worth burning the key. And then, of course, what you find in it. But over time, I kind of felt like that wasn't as useful consistently, so I started drafting the closet in the middle slot instead. Because that way I could kind of just like check in there to see what item it would give, and if it wasn't a good item, I could just quickly end the day and start over. So you can see in this run I got the sledgehammer, which, as you will see later on, definitely ended up being quite useful. So after I do the closet, I usually go off to the left side of the house here, or west side, and start looking for resources mainly. Like obviously the den for a gem, nook for a key, parlor for gems. I just kind of take whatever I can and try to fill every space in the bottom part of the map as much as I can. The drawing room is also a really nice early draft because once you know the safe code, it's essentially free since you get back the gem that you paid on it. And it lets you redraw the rooms that you draft out of it for free, which can be useful. So here I'm thinking I really want the garage, so that's why I take the spare room there, because I'm hoping that the spare room will lead to the garage in a moment. Here I take the bedroom because I just didn't want to dead end myself there quite yet. I find a treasure map here, which, as you will also see, ends up being quite big later. Then here, I take the pantry again to just kind of not dead end myself, although looks like I decided not to go down that path quite yet because at this point I want to see if I can get the garage here, and I do, which is really nice because oh, and I heard my metal detector beeping. That's what I was doing there as I was looking for the coin on the floor. Go into the garage, take the keys. I don't have the garage open yet, so I can't leave and get the outer room yet, but I look around. I swear, like, when I was playing through the game originally, I found items in the garage occasionally. Like, I could have sworn that I found, like, a shovel or a metal detector in here at some point. But when I was trying for these trophies, I never found anything in there apart from maybe a coin or something. So, see, I'm, like, searching the garage, hoping there's something there, but not finding anything. So now I go back down this other path that I had just opened up. And I have no choice because I have no gems, so I take the parlor, which is great anyway because 2 gems are huge early on. And in general, like, you don't ever want to be sitting at 0 gems because you can just get screwed over so easily that way if you draw like 2 rooms that cost gems and 1 that doesn't, but the one that doesn't is really bad, then you're forced to take it, and that can just end a run right there. Here I take the utility closet because this way I can go right back out the garage. And so at this point, like, when I would get to this point in a run, if I had not found any dice, or if I only had 1 die, I know that you need 2 dice to guarantee getting the tomb in the outer room, but I just kind of decided I'm not going to rely on having the tomb every run, even though I've seen other people say that that's kind of the most reliable way to get to the minecart underground. But for me, I found it actually really useful to draft other outer rooms at points too. Like, if you don't have any dice and you just go here, it gives you the choice between the root cellar, the tool shed, or the hovel. And obviously, like, the tool shed is just great. Like, it's 2 items. You really can't say no to that. I have had times when it gave me something really useless, like the gear wrench, which obviously is not in any way helpful for a day 1 run. But in this case, it gave me the battery pack, which will come in big later, and the watering can, which is basically 3 gems, which you can't turn down 3 gems. That is really good. So I know at this point I'm locked into not having the tomb in my run, which means that later on I'm going to need to find either the... what is it? Now I'm having to remind myself. You have to go in through the fountain, I believe, if you don't have the tomb. Like, that's the only other way to push the minecart out of the way. So here I'm just kind of filling out the bottom right of the house now. I'm hoping that I don't hit a dead end at this point, which has happened to me quite a bit. Like, I get through the first stretch just fine, and then all of a sudden the run is abruptly over because I just dropped a dead end when I don't want it. Here I'm setting security to high so that more security doors will spawn, and I'm setting it to unlocked because I don't have a key card, and I already turned the security system off in the utility closet earlier. Here I am getting really sick of doing the billiard puzzle over and over, but at least that means I'm getting pretty quick at it at this point. So I think, like, the best thing to get out of the billiard room is probably the secret garden key. As you'll see, that is not what I got here, but 2 keys are also really nice to have. Here I have to think about it a little bit. I'm looking at the dark room, thinking, like, I would love to take this, but I don't really have the steps to backtrack all the way to the utility closet. So I'm going to have to take a little gamble here and draft blind out of this room. I just hope it's something good. And here I got very lucky that the boudoir is a pretty good room to draft, and it's pointing the right direction too. So I did not dead end myself here, and I got another gem purely from luck. Here, these are all not great choices, but I know I don't want to take the bunk room because that can come in big later if you get either the sleeping mask or the nursery first. So I don't want to burn that early on because it could be a lot better later. So I just choose the chapel for the pathing. And here, since I already turned off the gymnasium from the utility closet, there's no downside to this red room, which is nice. It's just a free room with 3 exits. Here, I think I had to do a little debating there. I was looking at what I have already, and the patio did not seem like a good choice since I only have one other green room at this point, and it's too far away for me to really go back there and get the gem that would spawn. So I choose the commissary, even though I'm not sure if there's going to be anything useful at this point. You can see I clicked out of it really fast because I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I'm going to need the shovel, so I'll just hold off. Because I might need to buy gems. The walk-in closet was a really good find there. I managed to get back up to 3 gems, which is feeling a lot more safe than 1. Here, again, I think I was debating if I wanted to buy more gems, just so I wouldn't have to come back here and waste steps, but ultimately I decided that I didn't really know what I needed to spend my gold on, so I was going to hold on to it a little while longer. Here, I have to take the corridor for pathing pretty much, and also when you draft the corridor in the higher ranks like this, it's really nice because then you know that there won't be a locked door at the end of it. And here is where I just remember I have a treasure map for this room. Unfortunately, I then realize I don't have a shovel. And then I realize, wait a second, where did I just see a shovel? In the commissary 2 rooms away. So this was a really nice moment. I'm thinking, cool, I can get a treasure chest, potentially a shitload of gold or gems. Just dig up this treasure here. And I would say, like, up until this point, I really wasn't expecting much out of this run. It just seemed like it was honestly going kind of poorly. Like, there's so many spaces that I didn't fill in on the west side of the house. I'm just thinking, surely this will not be the one. But when I found that treasure and it brought me to 55 gold, I'm thinking, okay, I'm actually in a really good spot here because I can go back to the commissary and buy literally everything. And also, if I find a kitchen, I will be pretty much completely set on steps. You can see here, I did just draw the kitchen. Was tempted to take it, but obviously, like for pathing and because I still need a way into the antechamber, I chose the Great Hall instead. I also have 6 keys at this point, so I know I have plenty. And I'm kind of gambling here to find the exit, but I have enough keys to kind of brute force it. Here I find the pool, which made my heart jump a little bit, like, oh my god, I got the pool, is it happening? Here I find the kitchen, which is also huge, because that means I can take my 11 steps and turn it into, we'll see in a moment, but I buy everything in the kitchen. Or wait, I might actually, I don't think I buy the bacon and eggs right away, because that adds the morning room to the pool, and I don't want the morning room at this point. It would not do anything for me. So I only buy the bananas and the club sandwich, and I leave the bacon and eggs for later. So now I'm thinking, okay, what's my move? This run is actually alive. This could be a victory here. I draft up here. I choose the office for the pathing. I'm hoping that this will lead into the antechamber, obviously, because that is the door that's going to open when I find the lever in the Great Hall. I also take the upgrade disc and I put it in the computer just because, like, it's very unlikely that it's going to do anything for me at this point, but I've got plenty of time left, so I might as well. Just choose whatever. This does not matter because I already drafted the boudoir. Go ahead and spread some gold, even though I have 40 gold, so I really don't need any more, but again, why not? Just put it out there just in case I need it for some reason. get back one of the 2 gems that I spent on this room. And then I'm kind of thinking, what do I want to do next? Should I go draft out of the Great Hall? Or should I draft out of the office? And I'm like trying to figure out, like, is it more likely to get a room that goes straight or a room that angles? And honestly, I don't know. I'm just going by my gut here, and I think my gut said that I should go out of the Great Hall instead of the office because I feel like there are more rooms with corner exits than there are with straight exits. I open the door to the antechamber, and then I roll the dice and open this door, and it gives me the pump room, which is exactly what I needed because it gets me into the antechamber, and it lets me drain the fountain. So at this point, I'm kind of freaking out. You might see me just kind of sitting here for a while, just kind of thinking through what I need to do now, because I'm just kind of thinking through what I have. Like, I know that I have the basement key now, and I know that the pump room gets me into one side or the other of the underground, so I'm kind of thinking through, like, okay, which side do I need again? Like, do I need to drain the fountain, or do I need to make the boat accessible in the reservoir? So I realize it's the fountain that I need to drain. So this puzzle might take a little while. I probably made some mistakes here because I don't think I've ever actually come into the room from scratch and drain the fountain before. I think the last time I was in here, I had a different goal in mind, so now I'm just kind of trying to figure out how to do this puzzle again. I'll probably talk a little less during this part because nothing really to say here. There's just me trying to figure out how to do this. The one thing that's, of course, still on my mind is that I have no way into the other side of the underground. So even if I drain the fountain, I still need either the foundation or the power hammer. And I believe at this point I do not have the components for the power hammer, nor do I have a workshop. So that's kind of a problem. But I know I still have one exit out of the Great Hall and a lot of empty space on the west side of the map. So I'm hoping for the best. Almost done here. Fountain has been drained. So now it's time to see what I get out of this one remaining door that I have available to me. Also, I have one key left, so this is literally a 50-50. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, the exit on the other side of the room was down there, so I'm going to try the opposite side just because I feel like I've seen that be more likely. And so I win the 50-50 here, I get the correct door, and I find the workshop. And then when I walk into the workshop, I find the broken lever. And now I am really freaking out because I realize that this is the last thing that I needed. I'm looking at my inventory like I can't even believe it, that I have what it takes to make the power hammer right now. And before I send this, I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, just make sure this is what you have to do, right? So I go ahead and make it. At this point, I'm pretty sure that I start, like, tabbing out for a moment to message people, like, I think this is it. I think I'm about to win. Like, that's why I'm standing here doing nothing right now, is I'm processing my excitement and messaging people. I draft this door even though there's really no reason that I needed to, but I figured I might as well. It's there. We take the nursery just for a bit of extra steps. I don't know exactly how many steps it takes to go from here all the way outside and through the underground and then back again. I'm pretty sure that what I have is enough, but I might as well take any extra that I can get. And so I believe in a moment I go back to the kitchen as well to have some bacon and eggs. For another 10 steps. Pretty good. And I can't remember if I remembered this in the moment or not, but I still had the dinner here to eat as well, so I am like extremely good on steps. I have way more than I need at this point. Like, again, even though this is completely unnecessary, I just walk over to the commissary. I'm like, I have so much gold. I might as well just spend it, even though there's literally nothing to do with these items anymore. It's like, sure, give me those gems. Why not? Want to end the game with a bunch of gems in my pocket. Also, you'll see that I realized this on my way back through the house, but there was totally a door in the dark room that I never drafted out of, and I completely forgot about it until I walked past it later. So here's the freshly drained fountain. Go down here and use the basement key. And here, again, just why not? I grabbed the upgrade disc here. I don't really have any reason for doing that other than it's cool and I wanted to grab it. I thought, like, maybe if I end up playing with this save file sometime in the future, might as well grab this now instead of needing to grab it later, but I don't think I remembered to use it. So, pointless, but whatever. I still have plenty of time left. Now I go back up the fountain. My next destination is just down the hill here. This is where I use the power hammer to break into the other side of the underground. Now, I'm thinking that the blueprint for the Lost and Found is buried somewhere around here, and again, there's literally no reason to do this, but I just, like, as long as I'm walking past, why don't I just dig this up? Sure, why not? And now, you're about to see something slightly unethical. I have never come at the basement from this side before to solve this puzzle. And I happen to know that there's a way to just walk over the spaces like this without having to move the push carts. So I'm pretty sure I have enough time to figure out the puzzle all over again, but just in my anxiety, I'm like, I'm just gonna make absolutely sure that I don't run out of time here. So I do a little cheaty thing to get over the boxes without having to do the pushcart puzzle. Oh well. I watched a video about how you can actually just like glitch through the map and get all the way to the antechamber without, or like all the way to the lever to open the north door of the antechamber, and then to room 46 without actually ever playing the game, pretty much. And I'm not that degenerate. I didn't want to get the achievement that way because I found the process of doing this to actually be super fun. But I'm not above using a tiny little cheat like that if it just like helps me skip a puzzle that I've done before. So I mean, at this point I know that I've won. I have 38 steps left, which is way more than I need. I don't really have a concept of how long it's been, but I know it hasn't been an hour yet, so there's no way I'm missing the speed trophy. And this is the moment that I've been looking forward to. The track from the soundtrack that plays after you throw the lever here is one of my favorite tracks in the whole game, so at this point I'm cranking up my volume too, because I want the hype as I'm walking back. Can't hear it in the video, but my speakers are cranked up right now, and I am vibing to this music. Here, I think I was just trying to remember, like, which way is shorter to get back? Do I go that way or the other way? And then I realized I can't go the other way because the minecart's in the way. Just had to kind of remember where I was for a second because I'm so excited. And then I get to this part, I'm like, wait a second. Am I stuck here because I glitched over the boxes before? And then I realized, of course I'm not. There's push carts right here. Calm down. Now it's pretty much just the long walk back to the antechamber. Just opening my map and making sure I remember how to get back. And it's at this point when I see that door right there and I'm like, are you kidding me? I never opened this before. Like, sure, let's just draft a random room here. Let's go in the veranda, water some plants, dig up some coins. Just drag out the victory a little bit longer. I didn't actually realize until watching it back right now that I had never used the watering can until that moment. Kind of surprising, actually, how few green rooms there were in this run. Anyway, here we are. That's been my commentary. I'm just gonna let this cutscene play and stop talking. You can feel free to watch this amazing cutscene if you want. Thank you for watching.
There was once a red prince who sat on a red throne. He had a red crown made of rubies and a red castle made of stone. The prince had a love for all things red. It's the only true color, the prince often said. He could not stand the sight of a canary or a crow. He could not stand the white of a swan in the snow. And he never looked up for fear of the view. He had heard that the sky was not a red hue. He didn't see the birds or the changing of the leaves, and he never saw the sights of life's many symphonies. He couldn't see beyond the red shade, he was aware. He never caught a glimpse of the world I had to share. But one day the prince saw something new. And if you look closely, you might see it too. The skies parted and the clouds withdrew. The prince had a new favorite color.